This video is going to cover how to add products to your website, the redcottage.com. First and foremost, make sure that you are on the website. Once the site's live, this will not be here. So you'll go to the URL, theredcottage.com, and you will enter /WP-admin. It's going to prompt a username and password, which I will be sending to you via email. Once you log in, you'll see a screen just like this. This is the back admin of the WordPress. For today's tutorial, we're going to cover the product population. So what we're going to do on the left-hand side, we're going to go to Products, Add New. And it's going to pull up a screen just like this. At this time, you're going to go ahead and put the product name. I've kind of already started. This was the demo one that I did. I would like you to put the title, a dash, and then the plan number. This will help people be able to search for it. Then once the title's in, you automatically the permalink will populate. I recommend keeping the way that it is. If you do want to change it, you can edit it. I recommend leaving it. Then scrolling down in this area, the way that I have it set to look like this is the imagery will populate here. One image will populate here. And then the rest will populate here on the bottom, and that's because of this. This area controls below, and on the right hand side, product image controls up here. So if you want more than one image to populate in the upper left hand side, it's as easy as going here, and instead of having one product, you can add product gallery images, and that will pull from here, or as of right now I just have it static just to the one, and then the multiple images are here. So when adding this area, originally it will be blank, so we're going to go back to this, and let's just say for this example we'll use the same criteria, and we'll just kind of change it a bit so it doesn't confuse it. You'll notice as soon as we leave that, it will kind of populate that permalink like I said, and at this point we want to have this to be kind of a gallery setting. So what I did was I went to Add Media and I went to Create Gallery. And at that point, you then select what images are already either on the site and/or upload. And in this case, most likely they need to be uploaded. You'll click Upload, select Files, and then this is your generic screen on pulling where are those files. So if they're in a Dropbox, desktop, you then can select more than one by clicking on it, holding down, or just clicking on it, and then wherever the rest may end, hit Shift, and you can highlight them all at one time. You can also drag and drop them, but once you've imported them, you'll see them propagate like this, and they'll automatically will be highlighted as so with multiple check marks, and then you'll hit on the bottom right hand corner, you'll hit Create New Gallery, and they will automatically populate here and look just like this. At that point, you can then hit Edit, change the order of them. Also, if you want them to be a little bit bigger, smaller, all that information is there. And if we want to link to something else, which I don't think in this case we will because it's an actual product, you can change that as well. And the columns and random order. These are all options you may be able to change. Once you're set, hit Update Gallery. Those changes will take effect immediately. Now, from the next thing that you're going to want to go ahead and do, on the right hand side, you're going to see this is an area of product categories. I strongly suggest selecting everything that this floor plan will reflect. I think we believe we have most of them up there. If we don't, it's a really simple and easy tool that we can add a new category. For the sake of conversation, we'll do one. We'll just say test. Parent, you can disregard that. That means that it will be something underneath, so it could be like condominiums, and then if it's wanted to be underneath there, it will be like a sister, what we call it, where it goes underneath it. But at this point, I think it would just be easy to leave it like that. So if you're adding a new category, hit that, and you'll notice now it's an option that we could select. So at this point, select the appropriate categories. You'll notice still not at any point, don't worry about hitting update yet until the rest of the criteria is there. Once that's selected, I want you then to focus all here. This will be most of the meat and potatoes. Taking it from the top, it's going to ask you if it's a simple product, group product, external affiliate product, or available product. At this point, most of your products, from my understanding, are going to be simple product. They are not virtual nor downloadable. You at some point have the opportunity to do that, but these just leave these unselected. A good call to action sometimes is maybe adding a price that it used to be and then adding a sale price, and on the user's interface they'll see that, oh, it was used to be $199 and now it's only $100. So it kind of maybe a little call to action. It's not necessary. The most important thing is that you put the price in the sale area, and that's as easy as just putting in the actual dollar amount. Okay, and once that's entered, inventory you can disregard at some point. If you want to start keeping stock of it, you'll have to SKU them. You'll enable stock management, and then you can have that keep track and pull from the stock management that you have. Shipping at this point, I don't have any shipping classes set up. If we're going to be, I would recommend selling them at free shipping to compete with the most common e-commerces. I don't actually believe, I do believe it's actually maybe a virtual or downloadable, so maybe the shipping doesn't even apply. And in this case, we can actually go here, simple product, and hit that it's going to be virtual, and it's going to remove that shipping. You'll see as soon as you click that, it's going to say, oh, okay, well, you're not shipping it anyway. So if that's the case, click that. Also now, link products, it's up to you. You can, as other products start to be added, you can start to type them in. And once they're, so for instance, let's take this one, Adorable Cottage. If that's a product similar that you want to have cross-referenced, you can put that in there, and it will also try to cross-sell it. Like, well, if you're interested in that, maybe you'll be interested in, you know, this one as well. So as you add more products, that will populate. Now, this is the most important part, which will help us pull from the search criteria that we built, the search functionality. Here you're going to notice a generic, when you're starting from scratch, this is the same thing going over here. We've got general, inventory, shipping. Once again, we're going to click virtual, and we're going to go to attributes. And you'll notice right now this is what it looks like without any attributes set. As you're adding your product, these are already set and calibrated for you. So if whatever the criteria is that you want this to pull with, you'll hit building type, hit add, and building type has attached design, single family, or any. So these are already preset for you, and you'll notice you can just drop down. You don't have to type anything. And if it's a single family, that. And once again, if it applies to more than just one criteria, you can then once again start to, you know, click on it twice, and then also say this. And once again, maybe even any if you just want it to come up universally. Once those are selected, it's important to then hit save attribute, and then you'll continue. You can add more. So once this is saved, you can then enter additional attributes that will help once again in the searching of it. If it's the master suite location, we're going to add that. And then once again, the values that are available will be main floor, upper floor. Once again, selecting that, selecting that. So this is extremely important that these attributes are put in every single variable that you want. So as you add them, you'll notice they're no longer being able to be selected to help you out. And once those are calibrated, it once again is imperative that that's what's going to allow the search functionality on the actual site to be found on the home page and all the other areas that we have, just this area. So that's what's going to populate in those areas as you add those attributes. Now also, you'll notice this area, which we can have some fun with this, but this area, I have all of the information as far as content being put in here. Even though it says product short description, I put all of it here because I think that it looks snazzier with, this is the live environment here to show you what it looks like. This content will all populate on the right hand side of this nice image if you put this information in the short description. If you do want to put more than just imagery and content here, I'll show you where it populates. And just put test, hit preview, and you'll notice I'm not a big fan of this, but you'll notice we can add additional text, but it's going to go way down here. So do keep in mind you have that option to add additional text if you want it to populate under the images, maybe even linking to other things saying, oh, check out this property. And once again, you could just hyperlink that to another area. by putting the link that you want. But either way, I thought right now we would keep it simple, and your imagery would populate on the left-hand side by putting it in this body area, and then on the bottom of the short description, putting the script. Now you also can add media here, and we could also have additional imagery and things of that nature that populate, but I just think this is symmetrical and looks really good, but do know that you have some options. Either way, that's how to load a product from head to toe. And once again, one of the last things that you can do is, if you would like adding a product tag, you can start typing some things in and it will help people find it a little bit easier. So that's not imperative to do. We haven't really got into that. We can add that at a later point. But at this, with the way that I built this search criteria, it seems that most of what we are going to need is going to have a nice fluid actions for your consumer. And last, it's pretty neat. If you're working on some things and you don't want it to go live right away, you can actually come down here, and instead of hitting published, you can hit pending review or draft. Once you select that and hit OK, you'll notice that the word post went from post published to update. And well, this one's already live, but you'll notice actually on this side, instead of it being published, if I want this to be a draft and I hit OK, and or if I sit here and hit pending review, I can hit save as pending. And what this just means is that instead of it going automatically to the shopping cart, which will be viewable, you can save it as a draft to come back and revisit it, and or, which is really neat, and this is going to be in the later videos on how to edit blog articles, etc. WordPress allows you to make it public, password protect, or private. We'll cover that in a later video. But you can also schedule it to say, hey, I want this product to go live and or any piece of content on my site at a later date, and it's going to be military time. And that way you can, if you're having some type of special that you don't want on there now, but you want it next month, etc., you can do that and then schedule it, which is a really neat function. Either way, I hope this video was helpful. Any questions or concerns, you know what to do.